Hey, 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 we are back. Season 3. Can you believe it? I mean, season 3 of It Takes Work. I think the first season we were in Mexico. Remember? We recorded the intro from our hotel. We were in Mexico. We were definitely in Mexico because we aired it on our anniversary. Uh, yeah, 2022. Yeah. So we're back. I know y'all are like, wait, I thought y'all were coming back in February. We did. Yeah, we did. We took the much needed time, the break, all of the things, so that we could come back to you all in full swing. And so here we are, season 3. And yes, we do still have a full 10 episode season for you guys. So, what are we talking about tonight? As a matter of fact, if you guys can hang on for 1 second, I need to get my microphone. Can you do me a favor and grab my microphone? So if you are listening to this from the podcast streaming platforms, what is happening right now is some behind the scenes production things that I did not get taken care of. And so now I'm trying to do it at the last minute. So if the sound changes, because we are now adding our microphone to it, that is why. So 1 second while we take care of that. Just plug it in right here. And if you're watching us on YouTube, yep,
you're getting an experience.
I mean, hey, you know, one of these good old days, we're gonna have the whole podcast set up. But actually, I kind of like informal nature of how we're doing things, and so hopefully you guys can hear us nice and clear. Why is it not gonna work?
Because it's
it's in your. Look at that. I mean, it muted us and everything. Isn't that stupid?
Technology.
I mean, it doesn't want us to be the fabulous and awesome people that we are. So we appreciate you guys and your patience with us while we work on these technical issues here. So, yep, it looks like the Wi-Fi is back. And it also looks like we are no longer muted. So, okay, now, as I was previously stating before all of the lovely interruptions, we are back. Season 3. Stacy here.
And Jelani.
And what are we here to talk to you all about today? It's not hard, it's work, right? So, yes, the title of this podcast is It Takes Work. And we prefaced this to say, that it wasn't just related to a marriage relationship because Jelani and I are married. This was about, it just takes work to maintain relationships in general, friendships, family relationships, love relationships, work relationships. Mm-hmm. I mean, it takes work. And this episode is about, because I've heard so many people in the last few months just talk about, like, it almost is discouraging to even enter into a relationship the way that people talk about how hard it is.
It's actually harder than what you make it.
Yeah, yes, it's not hard. I don't believe it's hard. Again, everybody has their perspective and perception. I personally don't think it's hard. It's just work. And sometimes the work can be challenging. And the truth is, speaking about myself, sometimes we just don't want to do the work. And so now we are speaking tonight in perspective to love relationships, right? And that sort of narrative that says, oh, marriage is so hard. Marriage is so hard. Relationships are so hard. And I think maybe we need to change the way we're talking about it. It takes the work in the marriage and the relationship. So, and that is what can be challenging. But the relationship itself, if it's healthy, is not hard to me. So I do have a couple of people that don't know me personally that love to jump in my inbox and leave me paragraphs. And so if this has triggered you, I will politely wait for you to inbox me and tell me all of the things. So let's talk about it, Mr. Wilson. And you might need to speak up because microphone's a little far away from your mouth because you didn't want it, to block your beautiful face. So let's talk about it from a male perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There are challenges in this relationship that we have, but would you tag it with hard?
No, definitely would tag it as hard. I would say, I mean, with anything you want out of life, you got to put work in to get it.
Right.
If you want to say get a promotion at your job, you got to put some hard work in to get what you want out of that career. Nobody's just going to hand stuff to you. A relationship is only going to be as good as the amount of work you put into it.
Right.
It's not going to grow if you just stagnate and you just don't do any kind of or put any kind of effort towards making it grow or making it, flourish the way you intended to.
I think, one of the things that I've learned, because the truth is sometimes we can have this idea that because we are such quote unquote great people and we show up into a relationship, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. It's not. It's almost, I liken it to, because I'm into plants, right? So I liken it to a plant. Somebody buys you a plant. When you first get the plant, there's not a lot you have to do to it because it already has the soil it needs. It's already in the pot it needs. Right. So the goal is to get it to grow. So the only thing you really need to do is make sure that it's watered, it's getting the proper sunlight, depending on the type of plant that it is, that you're pruning it regularly, turning the soil and things like that. So as you do those things and it contributes to the growth of that plant and the plant gets too big for the pot it originally came in, now you've got to do a little extra. Now you've got to repot the plant. Now you've got to put fresh dirt in there. Now you've got to, maybe find a different place because it's bigger, so it may need more sunlight. And as the plant grows, you have to do work to maintain it, right? And so the same thing can be said about a relationship. I just really want to change that ball and chain narrative that comes with marriage. Because Jelani and I have had significant challenges in our marriage. A few episodes back, we told the story of my infidelity, right? And that would be something if Jelani was not secure in who he was, knowing who God is and trusting God to heal his broken heart and also heal me and mature me so that I could, be a better wife for him and to him, and also, take ownership of the things that I had done. Had he not been the person that he was, had he not been in that healthy and healed space, we would not have been able to overcome that. And so, yeah, there are challenges in the relationship, but those challenges don't make the relationship itself hard.
I would say the challenges don't make the relationship hard. The challenges are actually, if you approach it the right way, are actually designed to make you even better in the long run. Because it shows what you can overcome when you're, one mind, one body with your partner. Mm-hmm. Then I'm losing my train of thought that fast. What I'm trying to say is when you're all in the same page, then any challenge that comes your way, as long as y'all face it together, you pretty much get through it. You, your partner, God. That's it.
That's it. That's it. I know that people have belief systems and stuff, so we're not here to challenge any of that. I just know for us, we can't get through the things that we need to get through in life without the Most High God. Just period, point blank, in the story for us. But we do approach the challenges in our relationship with the mindset of what is this going to grow in me? What is this going to grow out of me? Where do I need to improve? And I think one of the biggest things for me in this relationship has been the improvement of communication. Because there was a time where there were things that I wanted that I either didn't say out loud or if I did say it out loud, it was misunderstood by you, or things that you needed that you didn't say out loud. And it just created this weirdness between us.
Like a wall.
Right. And now we're able to talk through it. And honestly, this is one of the most, outside of my relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ and being a mother to my children, this relationship right here is the most edifying, and it's a big contributor to my maturity, because you have to be selfless to a degree in your relationship. You have to. I would love to say that I wake up every day and I have this mindset that everything about the day and everything about my relationship is about me. Jelani's got to make me feel good. Jelani's got to be there for me. Jelani's got to love me. Jelani's got to show me. But that's unrealistic, and that is absolutely not the truth. Because what am I going to get out of this relationship if I look at it through the lens that I'm owed something or I'm due something? If I look at it with the lens of what can I do for him today? What can I do to support him? What can I do to serve him? What can I do to help him? And in turn, understanding that sowing and pouring into him helps us as a collective, because he's going to do the same for me. Now, if it was one sided, where I woke up in the morning with that sort of sacrificial mindset towards him, and he woke up in the morning like, yes, give me all of the things. I got nothing for you. Right. And maybe that's the definition that people are getting in these relationships. And it really does make you take a step back and really do an evaluation on the health of your dynamic, right? Because that's something that we didn't learn until later on in our relationship, how important it was to evaluate.
But you see, that comes with maturity, though.
Yeah. Yep. And we have that.
If you grow and mature as you get older, God sprinkles a little bit of wisdom on you, and you start like, I never thought about it from that perspective. Or I never looked at it from that lens.
Yeah. So you would say it is work, but it's not hard.
Of course.
Right. And would you say you enjoy it? Do you feel like you are in this never-ending prison sentence called matrimony?
If I was in a prison, I would not be here.
Right.
You don't stay where you're not happy.
That part. And the happiness is not driven by the other person.
Let me rephrase this. You don't stay where you're not happy unless you don't know who you are.
That part.
If you know who you are and you know what God is got for you, then you're not going to settle for anything less than that
part. And you grow to that point.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just don't know. When we got married at 21 and 23, we didn't know anything about that. And the truth is, we got married because we were in a relationship. We loved each other. We wanted to be fully committed to each other. We wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. So, because that was the goal in the young age of us. And then as we got into it, and then especially when we allowed God to get in the midst of and all up and through our relationship, we started to realize that it was so much more than that. It was so much more than, oh, he looks good, she looks good, they make each other feel good, da, da, da. It was so much more than that. And that's where that maturity came from. And I got to be honest, you have to humble yourself to receive that type of, because God does some work in that relationship through your partner, right? Like Jelani's countenance when it comes to certain things where I would like lose my mind about. And he's really calm and really even. God would use that as a learning opportunity for me. Hey, chill out. If he's not tripping, don't trip. And he had to help me to understand that Jelani was carrying the brunt of most of the responsibility for our household. So if he took a look at some things and he took a look at some ideas and he wasn't letting it stress him out and losing sleep, why am I over here stressing out and losing sleep? And so we just really wanted to kind of touch on that and talk about that because it's just been such a thing. Like, you see the beautiful, picture of covenants, and you see the beautiful weddings, you see the beautiful celebrations, but then there's this other side where there's like, oh, it's a big ball and chain, oh, it's so hard, oh, it's so ill when you get married, your intimacy with each other just minimizes and this, that, and the third. But when the truth of the matter is, it's about how you connect with each other. On a few episodes back, I remember us kind of sharing about the conversation that we had before we moved about common interests between us now that our children were adults. Mm-hmm. And there's an episode coming this season where we're going to be talking about parenting adult children. You don't want to miss that. But it was a conversation that he and I had to have because, as I mentioned, we got married at 20 and 23. When we got married, we immediately were like parents. We were pregnant before we got married. Okay. Because we were shacking. Okay. Like I said, we didn't even invite God in. God was at the door. We didn't invite him in the house until years into the marriage. But we got married at 21 and 23. And it was what connected us then is not the same thing now. So the kids became adults. Our children, I think the last one became an adult a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So the kids became adults, and Jelani and I had to
rediscover
each other. Right. Because now
as individuals again.
Right. Because now the kids are adults, and though they still need us to an extent, they don't need us for their day-to-day. And so now the focus turns back on each other. And what do we know about each other? What do we like? What is it that we don't like? What experience do we want to share together? And where are there times where we just need a little time? You know what I'm saying? And so we have to learn that. And so now there's another level of work. Again, not hard, maybe some challenges, but it's the work that I want to do. It's just like if I'm at my job and I do project management work, and if I'm at my job and I know that I have a document that I have to build and put together, and this document's going to end up in the hands of multiple people, and this particular document can affect my performance or my work or how I'm viewed, no matter how challenging it might be to find the data or put the right things together to make it all come together, I want to do it because I want to produce this artifact that's going to contribute to my success in the environment. Now, if I can have that same mindset about work, why not have that same mindset about my relationship?
You apply it with any part of your life.
Period. I don't care what it is. If it's so, I think we've made this very powerful statement, cliche, and that is that anything worth having requires effort and investment. Mm-hmm. But that's true. Like, that's not a lie. If you want to lose weight and you want to get healthier, it's going to take a discipline. You're going to have to be, exercise and eating habits and all of these things because you have an end goal in mind and you're willing to do the work. You may not always want to do the work, but you're willing to do it because the end goal is bigger than whatever challenges you face leading up to it. So, season 3, Mr. Wilson, season 3, we've got quite a bit of things that we are going to talk about this season. We again want to take our time and just thank you all for the support, for listening, for staying in tune. I'm going to do a little bit better about my social media presence as far as it takes work. What I am actually trying to do myself, this is not Mr. Wilson's plight at the moment, but I am trying to pull away from social media from a personal perspective and get back in touch with reality, right? Because for me, social media was a huge distraction. It is a huge distraction because I'm still very much so working on disciplining myself that way. But, huge distraction and really trying to get back to that old school way of, the only way you could get in touch with the person was call them. Only way you could probably reach them was, oh, let me put in a telephone call. Let me drop a letter in the mail. Now, I'm not saying that people are going to do that. But the thing is if you don't have my phone number and we don't talk like that, I'm not going to give an account for count timeline on social media for people to stay connected. We want to connect, reach out so we can connect and exchange information. But I'm doing that for me, just because it's a very important discipline for me. But I am going to make sure that these professional and creative accounts that we've established together, that we manage them and take care of them together and bring you all some great content. We've really got some good episodes coming up this season. We're going to be airing episodes through December of 2024. And we are just excited. We are very, very excited to come to you all. The It Takes Work couples retreat for this year, we did end up canceling it because it was due to low participation. And don't get me wrong, me and Mr. Wilson would have happily went to Aruba and enjoyed ourselves, okay? But we, again, talking about disciplines, have some things that we want to get accomplished for our family. And so we're going to put a pause on the travel for the summer. But don't you worry, their passports are going to get stamped this year. Okay?
Somewhere.
Somebody's country. We're going to go. You might not see the post on my social media page. Mr. Wilson might post some stuff. I'm not going to do it. I'm probably not going to do it. But, okay. I'm probably not going to do it, though. But we are, we do plan couples trips for the It Takes Work community. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. The email is in the banner here. If you can't see it, because sometimes the way YouTube is configured, it will not show that overlay. And it's ittakeswork.itw@gmail.com. And then you can also check us out on social media. And also, you can also visit our website. The website is My Sister Soul Productions. And then there's a subpage for It Takes Work. So reach out to us if you need relationship counseling. Again, does not have to be marriage. You can be married. You can be in a situationship. We ain't got no judgment for you, baby. Whose gavel can we throw at you? We can't. You could be a divorced couple and be like, look, I'm just trying to coexist with this person because we got things in common. You can be friends and you're just trying to work out that friendship dynamic. Let's talk about it. Because I think that's a big thing too. We don't communicate about stuff enough, or we use social media as a platform to communicate things.
Which I vehemently do not like.
And people don't care. That's the thing. So you're putting your business out there, and people they do not care. They're like, oh look at what so and so going through today.
No, you don't have to put all your business out.
I think it's an attention issue.
Necessary.
I know it was an attention issue for me, which is why I'm trying to pull away. Because I'm not gonna tell you no lie. The likes and the comments and it did something for the insecurities that I needed to deal with. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to the reality of life. Not even trying to be funny. Shout out to everybody that's content creators and getting their money from social media. God bless you. Not talking to you, but for me, I got to go. So just to round up the conversation, it's not hard, it's work. I, again, feel like this relationship is probably one of the more fulfilling relationships in my life. It's worth everything that I've had to put into it. It's worth everything that has been taken away from me. And I think the biggest contributors to that is the willingness of both people. I definitely want to close this conversation making sure we talk about that. Because if you got one person that's putting in all the effort, that's making it, I mean, listen, that person's going to get the growth and the maturity and everything they need, but they're not going to have anywhere to pour it if the other person has closed off that opportunity. So I want to ask you, Mr. Wilson Jalani, what are some of the fruit that has yielded in your life, doing the things that you needed to do for this relationship to grow and mature?
Mm-hmm. I would say definitely, like you said earlier, way better communication, understanding, definitely a lot wiser. So, certain things you used to trip off of or blow up on or like seriously let you aggravate you to like that last bone was being picked.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother you as much because you know how to navigate through situations better.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more happier.
Yeah.
Have a more of a confidence in who you are as an individual and in the relationship. So you have I'm almost at that level where I don't care about people's opinions.
Yeah.
I mean, really don't care about people's opinions.
Yeah.
I have a very, very good, unbothered disposition.
You do.
Right now.
I mean, blessed and highly favored in that area.
I would say those are the main fruits I get out of this.
Okay. I'll say the fruit that I have yielded, I agree, definitely better communication. A lot more confident in myself. I think people mistaken my extrovert nature for confidence. Like, oh, she can make friends with air on an elevator. Well, that's, I'm a people person. So that's a natural thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm walking up on you with all of this confidence and I'm just so sure of myself. There were so many things I was unsure of in me, but now I am a lot stronger on my feet there and I attribute that to the faith that I have invested in. I have invested the time, and I'm not sitting up here saying that I am consistent because I am not. I am not disciplined as I need to be. But the times where I have buckled down and invested in my faith, the prayer, the journaling, the allowing God to just do what God needs to do in my heart has helped me to see that the confidence I needed was in Him. And so, as long as I was out here insecure and the insecurities were, I guess, validated by likes and social media, this or people's compliments of me outside of those things, I'm a lot more confident now. Another, what else? I'll say the priorities. The priorities of my life are better. Whereas there were so many things that, you don't realize that there are so many things you put in front of what's really important until you get in this space where God begins to deal with you and like, hey, you over here investing all this time and energy and effort into this when this is what you need to be feeding and fueling and growing. And so because I shifted my priorities, like my relationship is important. My husband is important, baby. Listen to me and he'll be clear, he'll be good. If Jelani Wilson calls me, if I got plans outside of Jelani and the kids, and Jelani says, hey, I really need you, this is what's happening. I really need you. Baby, listen, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to nix the plans or whatever, but I got to make sure that whatever he needs, he's got. And it's not one of those situations, don't misunderstand me. It's not one of those situations where I have this needy husband where I'm out with my friends and he's like, I miss you, come home. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if there were a real issue at home and I've got these plans, I'm sorry, y'all. I got to go home and take care of home. And here's the thing about it. I don't need to be worried about the people that I've made the plans with because also the type of people that I surround myself with, they understand. That's another important factor. Another fruit that I think came out of doing the work here. Because had we not done the work here to understand who we were, how we interact, and how we deal with each other, we wouldn't know to assess what happens outside of us that influences what happens here. Because if I had a bunch of bitter friends who just men ain't this and men are that, and oh my God, so when Jelani is human and he does human things, oh, you better watch out, da 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 da. Or if he were surrounding himself by men who dealt with women that were just all over the place, and then I did something in my own humanity. Oh, bro, you better watch her. She this, she that, she this, she that. So it also, the work we did in the inside helped us to assess what the outside is supposed to look like. So But yeah, that's all. We only gave y'all like 30 minutes. You see that? We didn't even keep y'all. So we will be back for episode 2 coming in April. And y'all make sure y'all tune in. Please, 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 if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We will answer them. If you need any relationship support, as I mentioned before, make sure you hit up that My Sister Soul Productions website and visit the It Takes Work page so we can see what's going on, see how we can help. And we hope you guys are having an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back episode 2 next month.
See you.
Take care, everybody.